Time I took it, I absolutely loved it.
Spit the murderous, my murderous shit.
You got Eddie.
I shared with my boyfriend right from the start, and he shared with lots of other people. And if there wasn't a clean needle around, I would. I generally rinse them out with alcohol or tap water, but I mean...
It's buying Bentley coupes, not bragging.
I felt like I'd come home. It was the most fantastic drug ever.
And now the end is near, and so I face the final curtain. My friend, I'll say it clear, I'll say my case, of which I'm certain. I've lived a life that's full, I traveled each and every highway and more. Much more than this, I did it my way. Regrets, 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 regrets.
I felt like I'd come home. It was the most fantastic drug ever.
Blackpool to a lot of people is the end of the line, just like addiction is. You know, this film is all about Blackpool and addiction in Blackpool and recovery in Blackpool.
How about a brief description of your using history, like what age you was when you started using and your preferred substances?
Right, 16, I started smoking cannabis with friends, very sort of low level, didn't think, you know, it would lead to anything else, even despite my mum saying, oh, it'll lead to harder things, and the more she said that, the more I smoked to prove that it wouldn't.
First started using drugs when I was 12 years old. I got into the weed. I was hanging around with older people, so they introduced it to me. I was smoking a lot of bud, right up until the age of 15.
Mum bought a business in Blackpool when I was 16. I moved over here. I used to work nights on the promenade. And I can remember, never knew what drugs were when I was at school. There was something in a suitcase what geezers with greasy hair shot each other over. That was it, you know, just something in a film. I remember looking over the cafe counter one night and seeing them all falling out of the business nightclub, pissed out their faces, buying chunks of out of each other. And looking the opposite way down the road to the zone. And they all came falling out of the zone in a much worse state, but loving each other, picking each other up, hugging each other, having a right good laugh. And I thought, fucking hellfire. I don't know what they're on, but I don't want anything to do with it. But whatever they're on down there, that's a ticket, that is. That's me. I like that. I like the look of that.
You know, by the age of 18, I was taking acid with my mates, watching Pink Floyd The Wall, and just, you know, just monging out. By the age of 20 odd, I was taking Fet 7 days a week, not sleeping, my head was going. A year later I was taking benzos to deal with all the damage of the Fet I was taking. Because I started to become paranoid and anxious around people. By the age of 23, I broke into a chemist, and I was caught obviously. Got absolutely cracked off the coppers, broke my jaw, broke 3 ribs. So I was put on dihydrocodeine for the pain. Well, you know what's going to come in next, don't you?
Towards the end of the 90s, and yeah, I got into that, and then just carried on doing that. You know, I was working and just living for the weekends for years, and then one day we all came back from a club and someone said, do you want to try heroin? And I thought, yeah, because I was always open to try anything, you know. And the first time I took heroin, it was like, on the foil, it was like, boom.
It all mushroomed out of control because all I wanted to do was be stoned. But I couldn't be stoned because I was off my face on fet. And if I wasn't off my face on fet, I was taking loads of pills. If I weren't taking loads of pills, I was taking loads of coke, and I was taking loads of Valium to fucking get me down from all the speed. If I was taking all the speed, I was smoking loads of weed. So I could never actually get stoned. And this perpetuated for about 10 years whilst I was on the promenade. And then I had a bit of a... I was in a relationship and it all went a bit tits up, and she ended up dying of an overdose.
Methadone prescription. And I just recently got off it last year, and to be honest with you, I thought I was going to be on it for the rest of my life. Didn't see a way out. 15 years I was on a script, yeah, picking it up daily, not able to leave Blackpool, just a slave, you know, basically just stuck in Blackpool. I had to ring up the CDT if I wanted to go anywhere, you know, just not a quality of life anyone should have, absolutely not.
It was funny because I was originally I was just using once a week, and then my friends started selling it, so then I started buying a 10 bag every day, and I was using every day for about 3 months.
So when she died of an heroin overdose, it sent me head west a little bit because I didn't understand what heroin was. You know, I understood weed, I understood pills, I was a chemical freak, and I understood every other drug. I understood how they acted, how they reacted with you, what they did, how to counteract it. I understood all that, but I never understood heroin. So I started dabbling stupidly to understand what the power was of this white powder, this brown powder, what its power was over people, and why it turned people into horrible people, basically.
In 2009 I went into rehab with Malaus and did 6 months there. Learned quite a lot from it actually. When I got out I learned quite a lot, but unfortunately I'd relapsed. I'd learned a lot about myself while I was in there, but obviously I hadn't learned how to deal with outside, and, you know, because it's such a confined bubble and such a safe place. I picked up about 4 weeks after I left rehab. You know, so when I left, my head just went.
And then one day he didn't have any. I started getting a cold and flu-like symptoms, and it was in the middle of summer. I'm thinking, what's going on here? Why have I got flu for, you know? And then the next day he had some, and I had it, and the cold just went. I thought, but I didn't really think nothing of it at the time. I was still carrying on, and then it started to take over a lot more because I was working for a supermarket at the time, and I got pulled in the office for looking scruffy. I got, you know, they got fired for it because of my appearance, and then it all started to, you know, then I thought I might have got a problem here.
The very minute I started smoking it, I remember having my first 2 lines and they tasted like smoking peppered mackerel. It was horrible. But all the pain and anxiety and all the horribleness in my head went. And I can still remember now feeling every emotion drained from my body, which at the time was a good thing because all the hurt, the pain and the anger, it disappeared. For 4 or 5 hours it just went. And I was happy.
Before I knew it, I had a diazoxide habit and a methadone habit and a heroin habit.
And then I ended up going to the doctor's GP just for a random checkup, and they took my pulse, and they said my pulse was the same as a healthy 70-year-old. So I thought, whoa, something's going on here. And then I just said to them, I'm taking heroin. So then they referred me to a clinic in Nottingham.
About 7 years I was smoking gear for. Still working up and down the promenade, doing this and that, getting up to mischief here and there, having a laugh, being what's the word I'm looking for here? A functioning addict. Yeah? Never wanted treatment, never wanted help with my drug use.
I did accept the help because I felt that I needed it, but I wanted it on my terms. You know, I lied to them loads through the majority of the time I was there about my usage, because my usage was still, because I wasn't on a lot of Subutex, I could still use on top. So I was lying to them for the majority, but I was engaging, but on my terms.
The only thing I didn't change was my thinking around it all, and I only started realising about that when I was in the cells. My best friend had an OD and died in my presence. And the next day, I was sitting in my flat and I saw the police pull up outside. And the block of flats I lived in was a proper nefarious block of flats. And I was laughing, me and my mate were laughing when someone was about to get nicked. So it was like a scene off of Simpsons. We're looking out the window. The police have come to the door, they booted the bottom door, and we've heard everyone upstairs. And there's a bang on my door. So I thought nothing of it. I've gone and answered the door, and it's a copper at the door saying, "Are you blah blah blah?" Yeah, that's me. Right, you nicked. Didn't have a clue what I was being nicked for. Went to the cells. Thought it's mistaken identity. I've not been out the house for the only place I've been. I went to my mates last night. We got high, came home. I've not taxed anybody. I've not ripped anybody off. I've not robbed anybody. So it can't be me. I've done nothing wrong. So this is all mistaken identity. It's a massive inconvenience for my life. Sat in the interview room, and the copper told me that my best mate was dead.
In September, I went to Chapman Barker unit in Manchester and did my detox. And I think, on reflection, I was the most motivated person there that learned from that experience in rehab and detox 2 years earlier. I didn't want to mess it up this time.
I went to a detox 4 times, but I could get off it, but I could never stay off it, you know, because my money was building up in the bank from my job and that.
I remember sitting in the cell that night because I got kept in the police station for 3 days, and I was lying on my cot. I was looking at the ceiling, and I was thinking about ways. What can I say to get me out of here so I can't have a hit? Because I'm feeling a bit shit now. There's no way I'm going to ask for that doctor or nurse because they're just going to give me. And I had like an epiphany there and then in that police cell, in the dark and the cold. I had an epiphany of, your best mate's dead. He's tag on the toe, he's dead, he's never coming back, you're never going to see him, hear from him, have a laugh with him again. You can't go 20 more rays with him because he's dead. You were there when he died, you were just sat off your face, you didn't even notice. But you've not even thought about that, Chris. All you thought about is getting high. And it kind of made me feel sick. Like, it's the first time I've felt like any form of emotion for about 10 years. So in the morning, I had my lovely breakfast provided by the constabulary, which consisted of some sweaty eggs, a rubber sausage, and some beans, what I'm sure they were spitting in. So I was sitting in the cell, and the hatch opened on the door, and there was a bloke on the outside of the door who asked me, I tested positive the night before for opiates, do you want any help to get into services? And I think it's the first time I've ever not thrown my beans at the hatch and told him to do one. I said no, I looked at my tray and I looked back up and I went, actually, as he was closing the hatch, well, actually, yeah, I do. I think I need some help here because I don't have answers for once.
So when I was in Chapman Barker unit, I specifically went up to the therapy team and asked them for help, you know, sort of working on my negative thinking, negative thoughts, and they were firing loads of worksheets at me and I was completing them and, you know, handing them in. And I came out of Chapman Barker in October, so I went on to Coast, and to be honest with you, I didn't really think Coast would be working for me. I didn't think it would whatsoever.
I was lying to my key worker for years and years, and originally I was going to go to rehab in Burton-on-Trent, but I didn't get the funding. But that was down to my lying and stuff like that. So about a couple of years ago, I walked in to see my key worker, hold my hands up, said, look, I need help, this is happening, I'm using, everything's going wrong, And he says, right, well, I've got this place called Little Dale Hall in Lancaster, to go and have a look at it. So I went to look at it in July 2010. Absolutely loved it. You know, I walked up there. Well, I just had this feeling that I need to come here.
And he met me when I got released. He met me out of the cells and he got me into services. He got me onto a script. Introduced me to key workers in Blackpool that I still speak to. I've still got a really good relationship with today. And got me involved with services. And through that one individual, I got on a script, so I stopped using. I went into detox at the Kevin White unit in Liverpool.
Coast is a community rehab in Blackpool, and basically the philosophy was that just come in, sit on the chair, and just give it a chance, and that's basically what I did. Just sat down, and after a while I was able to sit with people, feel comfortable around people, and you know what, it started to work. I couldn't believe it.
Oh my God, it was really hard. I mean, the first 3 months I was there, I wasn't listening to them. You don't know me, who do you think you are? You know, I was having blazing rounds with the staff, you know, I was upsetting peers, and nearly got my funding pulled at one point. And then my mum came to see me about 3.5 months into it, and she said how well I was looking, and she was holding me and being really clingy with me, and she's never been like that. And I thought, oh God, I've got to do this right now.
I went to the Withnell House in Chorley, residential rehab, in 2009 for 12 and a half weeks before they threw me out because they classed me as beyond therapy. Couldn't help me. I was too ingrained in addictive behaviours. There's no way you can gain a recovery, too damaging to everybody else in the building.
I finished Coast a month and a half ago, and I'm still clean. I'm quite happily clean as well. I wouldn't say every day is, you know, happy. And, you know, I'm having difficult days, but the good thing is I'm having more happy days than difficult days. So I can't believe it's happening. I can't believe I've done it, and I'm really pleased.
Oh God, yeah. Without little Dale, I wouldn't have learned anything. I wouldn't have learned how to cope with feelings, emotions. I wouldn't have been able to engage with people properly, show empathy towards people. You know, just be socially acceptable. You know, definitely beneficial.
So they threw me in a train home with my train fare and a tenner in my pocket, which was nice of them. And I went on to Coast the day after, community rehab. I had a word with the counsellor there, got on the Coast, got on the programme the next day, spent 3 months on that programme and learned that actually everybody's got recovery in them. You know, everybody's allowed to think wrong things. Everyone's allowed their own opinion on things. But the trick is, if you think it, it's fine. It only becomes wrong when you act on it.
I'm doing voluntary work at a hostel in Blackpool, the Ashley Foundation. I do 3 days a week, and just learning to push myself and just challenge myself on a daily basis and help other people.
I love recovery, I do. You know, I'm fit, I'm healthy, I can make realistic choices, my own choices, and I'm not tied by anything anymore. You know, I'm not held down by a script. You know, I do enjoy it. I want so much out of life now. Like before, I wanted nothing but drugs, and now I want life.
And that stuck with me. And I got told one day that, you know, if kicking a dog every morning keeps you clean, when you get up, find yourself a fucking dog. That worked for me as well. Not kicking dogs, the philosophy behind it. You know, use what works for you, and that's kind of what I've done. So I got clean on the 14th of February 2009, Valentine's Day. I'm still clean now.
I find it sometimes challenging and difficult, but you know, I think if you go there expecting the worst, and anything else is a bonus. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'm going to be training to be a peer mentor. That starts in about a week's time. I go to the gym quite a lot. I go to meetings as well. I do NA. I also do meetings through B-Surf as well on a Monday.
What does recovery mean to me today? I'm a whole person now. I can make mistakes and I can live with mistakes. I don't see problems in life anymore. I view things as a solution, what I've just got to work out.
Yeah, people have rang me for support in the past quite a few times. Unfortunately, someone died recently and someone rang me for support, you know. So that was quite humbling actually.
I'm getting more involved where I live. I'm getting more involved in the groups there. I've helped facilitate the groups there. I've facilitated smart groups in the past. I've done the aftercare in Lancaster. I've facilitated them as well. Because originally I was never going to have anything to do with the services because I just had enough of it. But now I really want to give back, you know.
I'm aware of my surroundings, I'm aware of the people I speak to, I'm aware of who I get involved with, I'm aware of how I am all the time. I'm professionally unprofessional with things, and that's great detriment sometimes, but for me it works because that's me.
It is daunting, it is scary. I spoke to you about it recently, didn't I? The fact that I was full of a bit of anxiety of finally breaking away from services and finding my own feet. But at the same time, it's a progression, and you know that's the way it should go, rather than then becoming dependent on services.
I like chaos, I like working with chaos, I like working in chaos. I love helping people and I love people helping me. What does recovery give me? Recovery gives me choices in life. A choice to live. A chance to get involved with things and make a difference in Blackpool, in the community what I ripped the back out of for 18 years. I now love and give back as much as I possibly can.
I'm confident, I've got drive, I've got passion. I want things out of life, you know, and I know that they're achievable now, because before they weren't achievable. They felt like they weren't achievable.
I've got a family now. You know, I've got a beautiful missus. I've got a baby what I adore. I've got a 2-year-old daughter who's the apple of my eye. I didn't think anybody could love me for me. I just thought I was faulty. I thought I was something what God made and just threw on the waste pile. I wasn't a whole person. But you know what? None of us are whole people. We've all got little bits wrong with us. You know, what is normal? And the fact is I'm clean, I'm sober, and I'm honest with people about things, and through that everybody else is honest with me. And for me that's what recovery is about. It's about living life to how you see fit for it to be living, and for people to be able to approach you with their problems or solutions for your problems.
I'm allowed to swear.
Go for it.
Go.
Excellent.
Nice one.
Where do I see myself in 5 years' time? Hopefully, despite the economic climate at the moment, working in the social care sector, finishing my degree off with the Open University. Clean, obviously, yeah. Well, you need to stop that or we edit it.
Recovery rocks in Blackpool.
Right, recovery to me is, I don't think it's as difficult as I thought it would have been, you know. I think what you need for recovery is structure, obviously, to keep connected with people, and also the desire never to use again and to be in the place that you used to be. So far, touch wood, it's... Can we edit that bit? That wasn't good, that was it?
That was good.
Yeah, it's honest.
Do you want to move on?
Yeah.
Recovery to me, you know, I think with recovery, it's as hard as you make it sometimes. You know, if you push yourself and do the right things. I think for me, the good recovery is having a good support network and doing things that means things to you, like meaningful activities. You know, and just pushing yourself every day. You know, never give up.
Mr. Chris.
Dr. Dave.
Last words.
Yeah, recovery. It's sometimes it's so simple it's hard, and sometimes it's so hard it's simple. It's as simple as that. What else can I say?
It's lock-up time.
Lock up your daughter's time. Recovery's in town.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it, brilliant. I'm Davis from DMC Media, making a film for B-Surf. We rock. Over and out. That's a wrap. See you later.
Johnny was the centre of our family, and all of us loved him so much, so much. We worried about him all the time, and we loved him all the time for all his flaws. We loved him so much. When he was born, he was an absolute miracle and an absolute treasure. And for every minute of his life, we loved him and we worried about him, we cared for him. He was like our baby, he was like the youngest child of 3, except he was the eldest. And as a family, we are now incomplete, and there's a big part of us missing, a great big, funny, fantastic part of us missing. And for every minute of every day, he's there on our hearts, in our memory. So for every one of you there that's struggling, ask for help. And never ever think that recovery is impossible, because it's really, really possible. It's so possible. So ask for help. Please, every one of you out there that struggles like Johnny did, that's tormented, that for 1 minute thinks you've got using thoughts, hand it over. Use the support that's there for you. Ask for help all the time. And remember, just remember that if you get it wrong and it goes really wrong, you're going to break a lot of hearts. You're going to leave people feeling distraught for the rest of their lives. And that isn't what any of you want. And that is not what Johnny would have wanted for his family. Johnny loved us, and we loved him.
Because of BSurf, our David was able to connect with all the family again and start to build relationships with his 4 daughters, whom he desperately missed while he was using. We got our David back as the lovely funny guy who everybody loved and who had a beautiful soul. Sadly, we lost David 4 months ago through making a wrong choice. Addiction is an illness, and there is treatment out there and help. It's whether you make the right choices to take it. We promise you, David, that we will look after your 4 little girls, and we will all love and miss you forever.